Hey there friends, how's it going? This is David Potts with Song Notes, and I want to show you all a song that I did not expect to learn the past week, but it grabbed my ear, and I could do nothing else but surrender and go forth and learn it. It's Colors by the Black Pumas. I went to ACL, the Austin City Limits Music Festival, a couple weekends ago, and this was the set that took the sort of mind share. I left the set thinking about this. I've been listening to the Black Pumas all week, and this song in particular is one that has sort of won me over. I want to show it to you here, and even if you don't end up playing it, I want to talk about the sort of majesty of this chord progression. It's 8 measures, and the fact that they can create a song that is so soulful, so full of emotion and power and swells and everything, and it's the same progression repeating the entire time, is a testament to the musical prowess going on there, right? So I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna show you an easy acoustic version of the song with capo on the 2nd fret. I also want to give a suggestion, which is check out Michael Palmisano's react video to this song. He has an amazing YouTube channel. He listens to songs suggested from his community. He listens for the first time, and it's just amazing to watch him listen for the first time. He pauses it, rewinds it, but he can pull apart. I mean, his musical guitar chops are just off the charts, and it's such an educational goldmine to see what he can do watching a song, giving it back to you. So I watched his video twice. The second time I watched it, I captured all the timestamps of everything he talks about. So you can check that out. It's on his channel, but he really gets deep into the theory. A lot of it is stuff that I don't have a grasp of yet, but this diminished chord in particular is what gives this progression the magic, right? You have this sort of chromatic rise of the bass notes between those final 3 chords. It sounds really great. So let's get into this. I'll show you real quick the chords without the capo. Then I'm going to put capo on the 2nd fret, show you this easy, simplified acoustic version that retains the diminished magic. Okay, so let's get into it. Thanks all for watching. Check out my website, play song notes for more, and I'll see y'all on the other side. Let's go. So really quick, a review of the chords this song uses that the Black Pumas are playing. They don't have a capo on, right? When they're playing this, they're playing F sharp minor. They're playing it up here though, right? 9th fret. Then you have an A. Then you have an E major. And this next chord is the magic chord here. We're going from the E major to this E sharp diminished. You might be like, E sharp, what is that? And then we go back to F sharp minor. Now about the E sharp, I want to play you this clip from Michael Palmisano. Again, I totally trust what he's saying here. Check this out.
You guys all know that 4 to a sharp 4? That's not what happens here. Same key. Starts F sharp minor is your tonality. 6. 1. 5. Sharp 5. Triad, diminished triad, which is the 3/5 flat 7 of C sharp 7, which gives you that leading tone, E sharp, not F, and harmonically to F sharp. Hot.
So the essence of this is that this bass note, 7th fret, 8th fret, 9th fret, it's a chromatic run, okay? Now the thing is, here's the deal. This E sharp diminished, it's too tough for me to play the way I like to play guitar. So what I'm going to do in this video is put a capo on. And the idea is you can get the same sound. You can play along with the Black Pumas, but instead of all these chords, you can use these 2nd fret chords, right? So every chord is basically going to be a whole step lower in its name, right? The F sharp, if you go down 2 whole steps, or 1 whole step, it's an E minor. If you go down a whole step from A, you get a G. So that's a G major. That's our 2nd chord. Our E turns into a D, and our E sharp diminished turns into a D sharp diminished. Now I'm doing a D sharp diminished 7 here, and that's only because this particular chord shape, which is kind of a weird one, 1, 2, 1, 2 on the thinnest 4 strings, it's a lot easier to play than whatever the actual D sharp diminished shape would be. So it's a D sharp diminished 7, and then back to an E minor. Now here's the deal. Let me show you how to do this diminished chord, because it's actually not that crazy, right? Take your D chord, slide the shape up 1 fret and towards your face 1 string, okay? And then just put your pinky down on this note, 2nd fret of the 1st string. So then we have 1, 2, 1, 2. And when you practice this one, you want to practice going from the D to the D sharp to the E minor. And when you do the E minor, do the 4th string as your bass note. And the reason why is because you're going from the open 4th string on the D to the 1st fret 4th string for the D sharp diminished to this second fret 4th string for the E. And that's the whole point, is you want this, you want that rising, those 3 notes are all a half step away from each other. So they're kind of going up the steps in a sort of chromatic fashion. It sounds really good. Another trick with the E minor at the end there is you can add your pinky right here to the 3rd fret of the high E string. So then you get this, the D sharp diminished, and then the E minor. You have a nice sort of rising, swelling sound there. D sharp diminished, the E minor. Okay? Now, play those chords once through with this progression. It's going to be 2 measures of the E minor, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and G, 2, and 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, D for 1 measure, 3, 4, D sharp diminished, 7 for 1 measure, and E minor for 2 measures, okay? That's the progression the entire song uses. Everything is played over that progression. It repeats. So at this point, even if you don't play along with me any further, put this song on at some point after you're done watching the video and listen for the progression and really listen for that transitionary note. Whoops. You're going to hear that in the final 3 chords of the progression. And it happens over and over and over again. And they make such good use of it. And I think it really helps you get this song stuck in your head. Now, while we're at it, let's talk about some strumming patterns here, right? How can you actually play this to sound like the Black Pumas? The thing I would start off getting comfortable with is bass note strumming. And what I mean by that, and I have a whole separate lesson on this if you're interested. The PDF is available for my members on my website. Basically, you take any chord you're playing, any chord. You strum the bass note of it once, right, the thickest string, and then you do a full strum. And you're going to do that in a sort of controlled way. So look at this little strumming pattern we have here. It's a bass note on the 1 count, and then a full down strum on the 2 count. You could play the whole progression like this, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay? Now that doesn't sound necessarily too musical, but the idea there is you're working on your tempo, you're working on the controlled chord changes, right? If you can't do it that slow, then either slow it down or just get more comfortable with the chords. Let's bring in something a bit more steady here. Let's just do the same thing, but do a bass note down, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, la di da di da da. 1, 2, la di da da da. The G, right? For 2 measures. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and D. 3, 4, and I'm missing the bass notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 again, still kind of slow, but we're starting to pick it up a little bit. Now let's do a bass down, a bass down, bass down, a bass down. To me, this is where it really starts to feel like the song, because you get into kind of constant engine of that strumming going. And I feel like those earlier 2 strumming patterns are good when you're practicing the chords, but they almost feel like an engine that doesn't have enough gas or juice or RPMs yet to get over the hump or turn over or whatever it's called, right? So bass down, a bass down, bass down, a bass down, bass down, a bass down. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 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 And we can take that same one and add a little bit of down up at the very, very end, right? So bass down, a bass down, and a bass down, a bass down, and a bass down. Ready? Let's do it. All my favorite colors. All my favorite colors. get the idea. And you can ramp it up from there even further. Eventually, you're going to get to the point where your right hand is sort of going along here. Bass, bass, down, down, a bass, bass, down, down, a bass, bass, down, down, a bass, bass, down, down. To me, that's sort of like the kind of engine of things. And you can kind of, you know, selectively add or remove strums accordingly, bringing the pick into the strings or not accordingly. You know, create your own little groove. But I showed you these 4 strumming patterns here. You can rewind it or just screen grab this and have these around for you if you want to practice them. Now, two other things I want to show you here is this sort of jangle that you hear, right? In the song itself, you hear this, right? In the intro. Now these are notes those notes basically are they're always coming from the chord that's being played when each of those couples of notes is being played. You can kind of mimic them up here. The one trick for the E minor is you want to add the pinky note on the 3rd fret and then take it off. Check this out. Okay? I'm just doing some free, loose strumming, but it's really the 2 count. 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the 2 and the 4. And then you go to the G. The G, you keep your hand totally still. It's all about the pick. Light. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's basically a way to imitate it. Is you strum it like normal, or whatever strumming pattern you want, but on that E minor, you're adding the pinky just on the 2 count and on the 4 count, and then you remove it and you strum the open string. That's going to give you this same sound. Okay, so cool thing to keep in mind there. And yeah, that's going to be it for this one. So I wanted to share this song with you. Again, it's a great song. I'm going to do a pentatonic study based around this diminished chord. So check that out in one of my next lesson or 2, and there'll be an instructional PDF for that. It'll just be a way to practice the A major or the F sharp minor pentatonic. It's the same shape. It's all about the starting points that change, right? I'm going to show you just some riffs and improvisational practice I've been doing. I'm going to have a backing track for that one. So that's coming out soon. If you're watching this in the future, it's already out. Check out my website, playsongnotes.com. And thanks all very much for watching. I'm going to play this out. I'm just going to go through this progression a bunch of times here and get something good. All right. Thanks all for watching. Again, listen to this song, Colors by the Black Pumas. Bye-bye.